To anyone who ever crossed paths with my wife, Clara was nothing short of mesmerizing, the embodiment of grace. Our neighbors endlessly praised her enchanting garden, where dahlias and peonies bloomed in a chorus of color and scent. Acquaintances spoke in hushed admiration about the pristine condition of our home, where not a single surface bore a fingerprint and not a speck of dust dared settle. Even my father, a man of few compliments, once leaned in and said, "Son, you married an angel." I couldn't disagree. Clara was elegance in motion. Her voice was a gentle melody, her smile a beam of perpetual warmth. She was the kind of woman who sent handwritten thank-you notes after dinner parties and packed my lunches with care, tucking in little notes that whispered encouragement before important meetings. She remembered my sister's birthday each year without a prompt, calling her just to catch up and make her feel cherished. To the world, Clara seemed like a figure from a fairy tale, nurturing, steady, glowing with purpose. We hosted lively board game nights, donated regularly to shelters, and strung lights on our house lawn before the holiday season, spreading joy to anyone who walked by. Ours seemed a bond unbreakable, founded on trust, cemented with laughter, routine, and shared dreams. I believed, with every fiber of my being, that we were indestructible. Then one day, a plain envelope arrived. No return address. Just my name, written in elegant, deliberate script. I opened it with idle curiosity, never imagining it would append everything I believed about my life. Inside was a single photo, blurry, poorly composed, but unmistakably damning. Clara sat in a city cafe, her fingers gently intertwined with a stranger's. Her face was alight with joy, a joy I hadn't seen in years, a joy that used to be mine. I sat there paralyzed, my chest tightened, breath shallow, the image burning into my memory. A mistake, I whispered to myself. A misunderstanding. But doubt, cold, invasive, rooted itself in my gut. Suddenly, every memory felt tainted. Every embrace, every promise she'd ever whispered, felt like a well-rehearsed line in a script I never realized I wasn't meant to read. Instead of confronting her, I reached out to an old college friend, Nathan Holt, a private investigator whose card I kept tucked away out of some long-forgotten instinct. When I called, he didn't pry. "You want to follow her?" he asked, calm, measured. I simply nodded. Quietly. I need to know if my mind is playing tricks on me. A week later, I received a zip file titled Clara __ May 2022.zip. Inside were photos, dozens of them, along with time-stamped text and a shaky video recorded in a hotel parking lot. My thumb hovered over the play button, heart-hammering. And then I watched as Clara, the woman who once cried watching children's hospital commercials, who organized community fundraisers, kissed another man like I had never existed. That night, she lay beside me, breathing softly, her arm draped across my chest. I stared at the ceiling, utterly hollow. The woman I thought was my safe haven had become a stranger in my own home. The next morning, she greeted me with the same warmth she always had. "Morning, love," she said, pouring my coffee into my favorite ceramic mug, pressing a kiss to my forehead. I nearly recoiled. She hummed as she made pancakes, moving around the kitchen in her sage-green robe, spinning the same illusion of affection. Over dinner, she told me about a cheerful outing with colleagues at the Botanical Gardens, her eyes sparkling. She suggested we book a quiet weekend getaway. I nodded, smiled, played my part. But beneath the surface, I was gathering the pieces of her unraveling web. I dug deeper. With Nathan's help, I installed a discreet tracker in her glove compartment. I cross-referenced hotel bills, compiled suspicious bank transactions, collected screenshots of messages exchanged with Lucas Reed, a chiseled, charming personal trainer in his 30s with a curated Instagram persona and a talent for seduction. Her texts to him were crushing. "Mark, sweet, but you understand me. I've been the perfect wife for too long. I want something that feels alive. He'll never suspect. He thinks I'm untouchable." And then came the final gut punch. One night, she emerged from the bathroom wearing silk lingerie I'd never seen before. "What do you think?" she asked, twirling slightly, voice sultry. My throat closed. That very set had appeared in a photo Nathan took. in a hotel suite 3 weeks earlier. I forced a smile. Gorgeous, I said. Cold, hollow, dying inside. From that moment, I executed my plan with a surgeon's precision. First, I met with our attorney, not to revise our estate plan as I claimed, but to quietly separate our finances. I rerouted my salary into a private account under my cousin's name. I froze our shared credit cards under the pretense of fraud. She came home furious. The car was declined. Do you know how humiliating that was? I blinked, feigning sympathy. That's terrible. Want me to check with the bank? She scoffed, slammed the door. I smiled to myself. With Nathan's guidance, I accessed her cloud drive. Perfectly legal, since I funded it. I downloaded every compromising message, every sultry calendar entry, every GPS ping linked to Lucas. I compiled it all into a single document. Clara /_ PDF, and sent it to 3 recipients, our attorney, her nonprofit director, and her mother, the woman who always looked down on me as too ordinary for her precious daughter. But that wasn't the final blow. I saved that for a night Clara would never forget. I suggested a backyard gathering, just close friends and family. You've been doing so much lately. I told her, let's celebrate you. Her eyes sparkled. She poured herself into the planning. Fairy lights, charcuterie boards, fresh flower arrangements. She wore an ivory dress that shimmered like innocence. I wore a calm, unreadable smile. At 8 p.m., as glasses clinked in her honor, a projector behind the hydrangeas flickered to life. Gasps echoed. Her mother dropped her wine. Her brother froze, mouth ajar. On screen, Clara and Lucas, kissing in hotel lobbies. Audio of her flirtations. Screenshots of her texts. The final slide read, I wasn't clueless. I was deliberate. Silence. Clara stood trembling, lips parted, unable to form words. Her mother was the first to speak. Is this real? Clara stammered. It's edited. Someone's trying to ruin me. I stepped forward. I hired a licensed investigator. Every photo is time-stamped. Every location verified. Nathan nodded from the crowd. It's authentic. One by one, the guests dispersed. Some in silence, others casting scathing looks. Her brother muttered as he passed her, I defended you when they said you were manipulative. Clara remained in the garden, alone, her ivory dress a ghostly reminder of the woman she once pretended to be. By sunrise, I was gone. I'd moved into a short-term rental. On the dining table, I left divorce papers, a detailed ledger of our accounts, and a legal notice revoking her access to all funds. Alongside it, a single note. I wasn't too boring. You were too shallow to value loyalty. Her board dismissed her for misconduct. Lucas vanished. A ghost, unwilling to deal with the wreckage. The man for whom she gambled it all walked away without a glance. She tried to retaliate, filing a claim for emotional distress. But my attorney presented an ironclad timeline, methodical, legal, unshakable. Her case was dismissed without fanfare. She walked out of that courtroom alone. Now, almost a year later, Clara lives in a modest apartment on the outskirts of town. Her social media is gone. Her former friends? Silent. I haven't answered a single voicemail or email. There's nothing left to say. Her actions spoke volumes. I won't pretend I'm unscathed. Some mornings I still reach for the wrong mug. Some nights I still brace myself at the sound of a notification. But peace has crept in slowly, steadily. It's not loud or triumphant. It's the quiet knowledge that I didn't stoop to revenge. I uncovered the truth and let it burn. Clara once told me I was too dependable, too ordinary. She never realized that dependable men build the sharpest traps and wait with patience. So if you've ever loved someone wearing a perfect mask, if you've suffered in silence while they toyed with your heart, know this. You don't need to scream. You don't need to beg. Just expose the truth and let their lies destroy themselves.